Hey folks, Aaron Miller here. Recently, I dug up a live demo I did back in January of 2012 from the Awesome Horse Studios group. And joining me on the demo in the background as they painted their own versions are Cynthia Sheppard, Marc Scheff, and Noah Bradley. We cut in already a bit in progress. We had a few road bumps at the beginning, which I wanted to trim for you guys. So, hope you enjoy, and thanks. I was pretty sure that people could hear me now, too. I fixed something.
So now that I've got all my form established, I'm going to come in and start adding value. Blow this up a little bit. And I'm going to slowly sort of
Wait, am I live right now?
erase my line
Nope.
work.
Looks like
Well, I don't know which. Oh, actually, that is. I guess that is. I thought that was Cynthia.
Oh.
Sorry,
Oh, thank you.
that's Noah.
I appreciate that.
You guys want to see what
I looked
Cynthia's
over there
talking
and I was
about?
Man, Cynthia's painting looks a lot like mine.
That had to be really confusing.
Let's go to Cynthia so we can see what she's talking about. Yours
Okay.
looks awesome.
Thanks.
There's Cynthia.
Okay, yay. So let's try that again.
So you had. Where's your reference?
My
So
reference is over to the. I have it open here so people can see it. I also have a printout next to me.
Okay.
So let me wait for the live stream to catch up. So here's my line work that I did. I'm going to toggle back and forth between that and now I'm in with color, like I was just talking about. Color and value at the same time because I have all that information in the reference. And I'm selecting my own colors for it instead of just going directly for what I see in the photo or sampling from the photo because
I love that.
Yeah,
It's like
not really.
you say, like just work on the values, and then you can almost like throw any color you want on there.
Yeah.
Over the value. If the values work, you're good.
Yep.
Yeah, and this is it's a pretty well lit reference photo too. Like I've worked with a lot of reference photos that are not great in terms of lighting, especially ones I've taken in my house. Like I realize I need a reference photo at midnight and there's no daylight, and I'm like, oh great. So just trying to figure out, remake a value structure over a reference photo is not necessarily fun. But we're already starting with good information, so I'm going to use that. It's me, so I'll red up her hair a little bit. And right now, honestly, I'm just sort of filling in local areas of color. Like just her skin and her hair is all sort of a similar tone, and then I'm going to vary that as I go along. I might also actually take my line work layer and drag over my layers palette here real quick. I might lock the layer and color the lines. Because that way I don't have to
jealous of you guys and your digital colors.
Color my highlights. But this is a good way that if you do have a lot of heavy line work, or if you scan in a pencil sketch or something, and it's really like gray and messing up your colors, you can lock the layer, color in the lines.
Hey, if people want the reference just keeps getting posted on the chat. Like if you guys want to draw along and where should we have people post their work? Where's the best place? Maybe on Whip Nation and they can tag it something?
Yeah.
That'd be great.
So I guess, go and post it on Whip Nation and tag it Titty Sprinkles.
Why? I think people will be happy about that.
No.
It's called Toy Hunter, right?
Yeah.
Toy Hunter.
Yeah, just tag it Toy Hunter.
Yeah, they don't have access to all the fun ones, but this will do.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna start getting a little more detailed here.
I'm still mixing colors. I hate you guys.
You pre-mix all your colors?
No, well, I gotta mix some mud. I gotta mix a pile of stuff to work with.
Oh.
So there's a bit of pre-mixing because otherwise you're just working out of the tube.
What's wrong with working out of the tube? Is there anything wrong?
You go for it.
You go for it.
No, you go for it.
I'm
You
gonna
got your
work on
flesh
it.
tint.
Have fun with that too.
Squeezing out your flesh tint.
Oh.
For those who are asking, we're
Do
actually not
you want
doing-
to? I mean, do you really want to? We should talk about why people don't like it when you just squeeze flesh tin out of a tube.
Well,
Because
okay.
flesh is a lot of colors.
Yeah, well, there's that.
I mean, digitally that hardly ever comes up because I mean, you start with every color when you're digitally painting. You don't have tubes, and so when you're mixing colors, you're just picking from an endless variety of colors, and so there is no like flesh tone palette option. You know what I mean? But when you're oil painting,
Although sometimes people will like use like a tutorial or something and just color pick from that and assume that
That's
that's what all flesh tones look like.
Yes, there's always the what's the perfect flesh tone palette, and it's just like, well, what color is the person? What color is the light? I mean, there's
right.
certain
Every person is a different color.
There are, I guess,
Every
there.
single person, even every single white person,
Yep.
is a different shade.
There are
Except me and Noah, 'cause
go-tos.
we never go outside.
Hey, I go outside. I go hiking and
Sure.
There are definitely
hiking and
go-to
stuff.
colors.
Yeah.
I would say that. There's definitely colors that I'll squeeze out, but that doesn't
I'm a
determine.
cadmium red freak when oil
Yeah.
painting. Like, if there's if I'm painting a light skinned person, cadmium reds.
Really?
Why?
I rarely use red.
Can you say why you use it?
I just
Because
don't-
it so easily blends with white and other colors to just produce like a warm, glowing flesh tone. I don't know. It's sort of I don't know if it's considered to be a bad practice or not.
No, I think it's
No,
great.
no. I'm just curious because people. Let's see. What do I want to say? Like I'll use reds in different places to show things like blood flow. Like I show you. Put
Sure,
red in
yeah.
the nose, the eyes,
Noses,
or
fingers,
where
yeah.
the fingers, extremities, where the
capillary
skin is a little bit thinner, where you can see blood. If you got a creature, actually, isn't it true that? Did I read this? Like blood isn't actually red until it leaves the body. Is that something I'm making up? Is that,
No, I think I've heard that too. That it's like blue and
But it's
in the
not
body. I think
really blue.
right.
It's purpley blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why your veins look. When you look down your arm and you see your veins, they're kind of a bluish tint.
Right.
Yeah.
The,
But they're not
the-
like bright.
It's oxidized. It's oxidizing when it
Art.
comes out.
And science with Awesome Horse. Oxygenated blood.
Hell yeah.
Rob Go, thank you. Oxygenated blood is red. So if there's oxygen, lots of oxygen in the blood, it's redder, I guess.
Yes.
Do, do, do.
Uncomfortable, yes. Yes, we are kind of wrong. But the end result on the painting, I think we're all the same.
I don't think were any of us actually science majors.
No.
Yeah.
I didn't even
I
take
actually
biology.
Science.
enjoy science.
I took
I
chemistry.
definitely-
I was a computer science major, but I don't think I need to know much about blood.
Yeah.
No,
Blood, sweat, and tears.
that's what we do.
It's our daily lesson.
Oh man, we tried to, like, my final project for this one computer class was we built a tank game. Actually, this is funny. I don't know if I've told this story before, but I was in a hardware class where you like got little wires and a wire board, and we had to make something. Now I was not really a stud in this class, and I was just
You weren't a
with
stud?
I was partnered
That's the
with this
first time
guy
you were a stud?
who was I'm ignoring you guys. So I was partners with this guy who was just amazing, Nate Smith, super nice guy. Thank you, Nate, if you're listening. And the final project, like he really did like all the work. Like I'd go over and we'd kind of like dick around with stuff, but then like I'd come back the next day and he'd have like a whole bunch of shit built. So we get to like the final like presentation where you like present your work to the to the TF, and we're going around and everyone's plugging in their stuff, and they like we like hook our shit up to a monitor. I mean, this is seriously, this is hilarious for me at the time because I realized exactly what happened, exactly when I did it. He plugs it in and he starts touching wires. He starts touching like the different wires that are out front.
Oh,
and
no.
I go, and letters show up on the monitor, and I go, oh cool, a keyboard. We had built a keyboard, which I was supposed to know before the final presentation.
Wow. That's sad.
Yeah. I feel like I read the assignment. But no, it was like not a mystery to anybody. The TF was like, yeah, we know. Jess says the bright red color of arterial blood stems from a complex that's formed between hemoglobin, iron, and molecular oxygen. The complex
That's
mainly
awesome.
higher energy, shorter wavelength, blue, and green. See? Gurney.
I'm learning.
Learning.
Jess,
You get an A.
Well,
That's
Jess,
gives you an
well, you, technically you plagiarized Kearney, but you called yourself out, so it's okay. How you guys doing? Let's see. We've had Noah going for we're Cynthia going for a little bit. Let's get Noah.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
What is wrong?
Go Noah.
Aaron, you need to stop freaking out. Noah's up.
It's me.
Sorry about freaking out. My camera is not cooperating.
Okay, how's the audio, everybody? Can everybody hear everybody? Like, can you hear Noah and me?
Does everything work on Noah's channel?
I can hear you guys.
As usual?
See, I'm going to switch over to the chat for a little bit.
Look at that, everything works.
Are you guys all on the northeast? Kind of. I don't know. Is Chicago considered northeast? It's sort of
No.
We're on the eastern half of America.
eastern half, yes. But where it is cold.
No, it seems like the sound is not.
What's wrong with the sound? Everybody said yes.
Okay.
Just because one person said it was off.
Okay, if you can't, I'll just tell people to refresh. It seems like some people can hear.
Yeah.
We are getting snow up in Brooklyn town.
We got ice here.
We have lots of snow here.
Oh, you
We
guys got
just
our
have
snow,
ice.
huh?
Yep. Thanks.
You're
As
welcome.
long as I don't need to drive in it, it's fine.
I don't mind sharing.
Kind of a wuss when it comes to snow. And when I say kind of, I mean I'm totally a wuss when it comes to driving in snow.
I had to drive this morning. Declan is like so sick right now. He was
Aw.
up all night. Chloe, not basically. She pulled an all-nighter with him. Comes in at 9 a.m. and is like, please take him.
Aww.
He threw up. We went to the doctor. It was like just really kind of a rocking morning. I basically just like finished all that and got on the live stream.
Nice.
Big ups to my wife for handling that. She is a rock star.
People should be asking questions. Why aren't people asking questions?
I was just typing any questions.
Should ask questions.
No, do you want to talk about kind of what you're doing and why you're doing it that way?
Well, I didn't start with line, which I guess is different than you guys. I just started in with shapes, and I kind of started monochrome and started add color afterwards.
You know that lines don't exist, right?
Exactly.
Oh.
That's why I don't paint them.
You want to talk about it?
Do you want to talk about it? You seem to want to talk about it.
You need to talk, Mark.
We'll listen a little bit.
Lines
well,
are the best we can do to
lines are the best
represent
we can do to
forms.
approximate the value shifts, right? So like if I look at, okay, I'll even do it. For those who are going to get the download, you'll see that I'm doing a red line. Or let's say if you look at Noah's painting, if you look at the edge of her arm where it goes to her hair, that's not a line. What that is there's a light shape butted up against a dark shape. Now we like to go in and draw a line there as a shorthand for that. But another way of doing that is to paint the dark shape and then paint the light shape.
Yeah.
We used to do this in high school with we used to take do upside down master copies.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a video.
So you can't really, I mean you can draw with line, but it's much easier actually to just look at the shapes and get those shapes correct, and then you flip the thing over and you're like, wow, Matisse. Although probably not Matisse.
Oh, and to answer the question in the chat, yeah, I am using a kind of squarish brush, just because it's basically all I use. Even though this is an organic form, I don't know, you can do everything with this brush.
You can do anything with any brush.
But mainly this brush.
That's true.
But only if you have nose brush.
Yes, because this is the ultimate brush.
If you have that brush, it'll make you a good artist.
I'll sell you it for $100.
I bet you would
It's
too.
snake oil. It's modern snake oil for artists.
What's that? Got a fever? Try this brush. I want it.
I'm pretty sure
Hey,
it
you got
comes
that
with
brush? He looks
Photoshop.
better. Yeah. I'm still trying to figure out if people can hear us. Guys on the chat, say sprinkles if you can hear us.
I'm pretty sure they can. Would you stop talking about sprinkles?
Hmm.
I
What is
knew
there
it-
like
Okay,
a sprinkle
all right.
thing going on?
No, it's a thing.
Oh dear.
There is this
I
awesome.
missed a thing.
Yeah.
There is this awesome. Let me see if I can. I'll just pull it up and put it on the chat. There's an image.
I'm gonna add rim lighting to mine. Screw you guys.
What are you doing? Adding lighting?
Yeah, adding rim lighting.
Oh.
Okay, this might actually be the funniest thing that you see today.
Oh dear.
Unless you've already seen it.
Except unless you've already seen it, in which case it still might be the funniest thing you've seen
I
today.
don't know. It's gonna have to beat Italian Spider-Man that I linked this morning.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Italian Spider-Man.
Italian
What do you
Spider-Man.
do, Miller, for work?
What?
I'm messed. I'm drawing little red lines on my form to show where the form wraps. What are you guys doing?
I'm painting.
Nitpicking. Oh. Got it. Okay. Sprinkles.
I did not see the Italian Spider-Man, but I'm not going to watch it now.
Rim lighting.
Where do you get your models, Aaron? Oh, man.
I think he's asking for her number.
Jeez, God.
And she's like, what? What? You want my number? I will hit you with this giant stick. Look at this giant stick. I will beat the shit out of you with it. Do not-
Because I was running life drawing classes, I was able to build up a pretty good mailing list. And I would just post, when we were looking, just post ads in Craigslist.
Mm.
Model
Did you ever get any
Mayhem.
really weird people?
Yeah, we've had our share. I haven't had to deal with the serious crazies that my buddies have had to deal with, like the
Really?
guy. Can I leave my cowboy boots on?
Oh.
Is that cool?
That sounds healthy.
Yeah. Or
I just
the
asked the local
couples-
bartender.
Yeah. It depends
Said
on
she'd
what you
do
want
it.
them to do.
It really does, and how much you're paying them. Wait, what are we talking? We're still talking about modeling, right?
No, we're not.
Okay. Awkward. Somebody's asking if she has a bump it in her hair.
Oh, she does kind of have
Somebody's
a poof.
critiquing you, Noah. Look at that.
Yeah, I
Oh,
was thinking the same thing. I just
figure.
wasn't going to say anything. I was like,
All right,
Snooky!
Oh, wait, it was painting?
I'll take
She's from
a
the Jersey
poof
Shore. The Jersey Elfin Shore.
Am I the only one here that's never watched that show?
I've never
No, I've
seen
never.
I
it.
have absolutely no desire to see Jersey Shore. I'm sorry if you're
I've
from
never
Jersey
seen it.
and I offended you, but I
I was
have
always
no...
a big House fan, though.
That's alright.
I like that show.
All right, I'll take out her poof.
Well, or you could. I mean, depends on what you're doing. Maybe she's got like multiple poofs that make that poof make sense. Okay, or maybe not.
Poof is gone.
She's not a poof kind of girl.
No.
Oh, great.
I'm actually still line drawing. I'm having fun.
You're still online? God, we're like 45 minutes in.
Are we actually
What's the goal?
taunting
What's the
Mark
goal?
for-
What's
I
your
don't know.
goal? You have-
I don't know.
The
No
big
one
me?
wants to somehow.
More specifically, what's my goal? Do you know?
Yeah.
No, you don't. That's right. How to Not Take a Crit by Marc Scheff.
Oh, guys, seriously, I really,
It's
really
just my style.
I at some point would love to do a group crit where we all crit each other's work.
Oh.
just
No, I'm not. I don't know if I'm a fan of that.
How
Thanks
horrible
to
we take.
We do that all the time, though.
Noah's just
Yeah, I know.
mean.
We do. Exactly. We're
Subject
so
other
used
people
to it.
Noah's just plain mean.
That's true.
I am
No, it
not.
is really mean.
Sometimes nice.
You could try being good at art.
I
End
might have
quote.
told people that in art school. Maybe. It's like, why not?
We have an email. Email? Is it email? No, we used to do it on Google Wave. So sad.
Yeah. Oh. So who here, Aaron excluded because you're working on a canvas, although I don't know if you have a mirror or something. Who here has image flipped?
Yay. I mean, not currently.
I tried to earlier, but instead I hid everything. I forgot what my shortcut key is.
You forgot your shortcut?
Yeah, or I gotta set it again.
I've actually been too lazy to set up a hotkey. It's just an action. I could do it right now, but I just haven't.
So
I'm gonna set up my hotkey right now.
I do it all the time.
Canvas.
That's
Yeah,
great.
we know.
It's awesome.
This is weird not doing this from life.
I'll bet. Yeah, since you're
Yeah,
so
how was
used to.
the actual session?
Well, the snowstorm kind of killed the turnout,
Oh.
but
yeah.
the actual session was fun.
That's good.
We're gonna do it again.
I saw you
I'm
once.
just gonna. Everyone seemed to really want to do it, so I'm just going to sort of do like a repeat of it.
That's cool.
Cynthia, people are asking how you picked your color scheme because it's pretty great. They say.
Well,
Just
I started.
practice?
Yeah. Well, there's practice and another thing. I noticed in the photo, the reference photo is very yellow. Let me blow it up. Are we back to me again?
Yeah, you're live.
We are back to you. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So
We've actually been on you for a minute. So.
Yeah.
Awesome. So we've got a lot of very, very hot pink, yellow, red tones here, and there's not a lot of variation. What I wanted to do was bring more cool highlights in, because that not only has like a sort of muting effect to the skin, but it also just gives it a little more dynamic glow. If you're working with light skin using like a green or something or a blue, I picked something about in this range here. Hopefully live stream's caught up to where I'm picking, and then if I were to just paint this over the reference photo, you could see right away how that bluish tone immediately changes the properties and the quality of the skin. So
Somebody's also asking how you plan on making the neck not look too thick.
a lot of that is going to happen when
Oh,
I
yeah,
work on the
neck is
hair.
pretty thick.
Yeah, I got this sketch line that's still here. I'll blow this up a little bit. This, okay, let's see. It's sort of a sketchy line that I can take down a little bit now at this stage. And one thing I do, one of the reasons that I work so flat a lot of the time is because I like to sample the background color. Like if I had a more extensive background going, it would probably be better. But I like to sample the background color and bring it in instead of just erasing what I've got going on, because that also, it starts to mix. It starts to mix with the colors you've got going, and then you've got instant. What's the word I'm looking for? Painting and talking at the same time is so freaking hard. You have the two blending together. It creates not repetition. The other one.
Stuff. What are you talking
Optical
about?
blending? What are you talking about?
Help me out.
What are you talking about? Oh, I'm so mad at you digital guys. I'm so far behind.
It's okay.
I
Mark's
mean
still
that.
on his lines.
Yeah, I'm having a good time with it.
I'm quitting painting forever.
Screw you guys.
Ski you
I was
guys.
like, I'm almost done.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm totally done.
cohesion. Maybe that's the word I'm looking for. This is gonna bother me for like an hour.
What are you talking about again?
Like when you take the background color and you work with it and you bring it in to the like what you're drawing instead of erasing the foreground. I know this is making less sense because I'm actually.
I know exactly what you're talking about, but basically, what it does is it helps to bring the
it unifies the color. It unifies the color throughout the image. That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Yes, unify. Remember that.
Yeah, you can do this. You can also do it with like a glaze. Like if you're doing traditional, you can take. If you like, oh, my colors aren't really working, you can basically take a color and mix it into all the other colors as you're working, like just a little bit.
Yep.
And it sort of helps everything make sense together because it ties together as opposed to having lots of different colors, which is hard to pull off. There's some people who do it, but they've had a lot of practice. I personally like to stick to just a couple colors, mostly because I don't know, I just like it, but also, it's easier than trying to do something super complicated. That was always my problem in art school too. I would always try to do something really. I'd be like, I'm gonna do like a 12-figure, oh man, be like,
ambitious.
Super ambitious.
You were
great
ambitious.
to break my teeth. Difficult to hear what people thought of it because they didn't think a whole lot of it. As it turns out. Do you guys want to see let's see if I can get Aaron in here.
All right, I've been nitpicking the face for entirely too long.
I'm sure as soon as you switch to me, everything's going to turn off. And then you'd be like, oh, forget him again. Yeah,
we got your video. We'll see if the audio works.
It should. I don't know.
Audio sounds good, Aaron. Oh yeah.
All right, go for it, man.
Start talking about what you're doing. Sprinkles. Everybody say sprinkles.
No.
What's the sprinkles thing?
For those of you who are downloading this and aren't on the chat to see what I posted, go just do a little search for Morgan Freeman and sprinkles, and you can thank me later.
I'm still doing what Noah was doing like an hour ago.
Oh, yeah. That was a long time ago.
Yeah, whatever. But this is how long it takes when you're painting. Well, actually, that's not true.
That's not true at all.
Yeah, when I
Olive Prima.
That's what I'm doing. But for some reason, having the reference and her not moving and having a little more time and this whole setup that I'm
just shake your reference photo a little bit. Just move it around a little bit.
But yeah, like the one I did last night, I think I had about an hour or less.
Yeah, that one looked pretty good.
Yeah. So.
Kate DP, good question. How much should and also make sure to bold your questions, guys.
Yeah, please.
Chaos, you don't need to bold high fives, but thank you. How much should photo reference be relied on? I'm wondering how far you can push an image based on reference to avoid it being linkable to the photo. Well, first of all, I would say it really depends on what your goal is. If you're making, a beautiful figure painting, there's nothing wrong with having it look like the photo.
Well, if you have the rights to the photo, that's.
Oh, right. Of course, yeah.
I think that's part of
I'm assuming you're not saying like I'm gonna draw this thing that looks exactly like the Obama Shepherd Ferry thing, It depends.
In case you want to change it a lot.
Yeah, because he got killed for that. He also went and tried to make a ton of money for it. This is a really, really tricky question. What you don't want is a portfolio full of just stuff that looks like copies from photos. Like you want to have a voice. So once you've got something that you're trying to say, you can take a photo and and push it and manipulate it. I don't know. What do you guys have to say?
It like for this particular project, since I've set it up to have her look a certain way, sort of like an illustration project. You probably would be setting it up in the costume, but you can always like change things up. Like here, I put on the makeup and stuff, and you know, what if I didn't do that? Then I'd be adding it myself.
Yeah.
Or you want to idealize some stuff. Like I have this face, but if I spend enough time, I could idealize it. Or you shift the exact angle of the arm, or the angle of the spear. Like this, in this point, she's looking off to the side, and if I was gonna really work out a composition, I might tilt this whole thing down so that her eyes hit the pole and then work down. That's like one idea of things that where you're using a reference, but you're thinking about some other
And I
ways
think
to
I think an important part of using reference is that you should be doing your sketches and stuff and your concept and your thumbnails without reference. So that you're not locked into a reference. And that way, once you've got those down, once you've got your ideas already figured out, that's when you go to get reference.
I think
that's definitely true, and especially true for concept art or illustration.
Yeah, you don't want to start with reference like what we're doing today.
Unless you're doing like a portrait or something. I was going to say my personal goal is to be able to, as smoothly as possible, combine imagined life and photo referenced stuff as necessary to create anything I can dream up.
Yeah.
And in the end, I mean, like if you have good, basic drawing skills, you should be able to, continue to work at that pretty solidly. Not letting your reference guide you, rather, letting your sketches guide the reference is an important point. I would say it depends on what your individual goals are, though. Like if you want to become a great portrait painter, you're going to spend more of your time with photo references trying to be exacting and just, get as close a result as possible. But if you want to be, a fantasy illustrator, you're going to have a lot of more, imagination coming into it. So
I want to address something from the chat. Somebody said, it's great and traditional that you have only one chance to paint it. No, not many mistakes are allowed. And I don't want to pick on you, but I actually disagree. You have, what people forget about traditional is, you can paint over it. Okay. Okay. I see. You were sort of joking, but I do think that it's important to say, you can paint over it, and also, I feel like we hear this every year at the master class, and it's absolutely true. Like you have to make a lot of bad paintings.
Yes.
I make bad paintings all the time.
I made a bad painting at the MC.
And I say still, not like, well, and I'm a master. Like I'm not a master. The point is, none of us are, and we're all learning. So so there's no. You shouldn't put that kind of I don't think you should put that kind of pressure on yourself. You should just make studies, make art. If you like it or don't like it, it's okay. You made it. You got it out of your system, and you learned something. Hopefully, for the next time. Like that's something I hear all the time on our crits. It's like, well, maybe this piece didn't work out as well as I thought. Well, that's okay. You're gonna take all those lessons to the next piece. But you have to do that crappy piece, or you have to make that mistake, or you have to like push that mistake as far as you can to like understand why it's a mistake, and then you can put it down. But don't. I would say like if you got a painting and you're like, oh, I don't really know where to go from here. Don't quit on it. Push on it a little bit. Get some feedback. Do what you can with it, but also just don't beat yourself up about like, oh, it's not perfect, or those eyes aren't working here. Oh my God, what am I doing? You're going to feel that enough as an artist for your entire life.
Mark had a post with a good attitude in it the other day. You posted something and you're like, I'm going to try this and this and this, and the worst possible result is that I'll fail. It's like, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no one's going to die. Just do it.
Yeah, if really the worst thing that happens is I fail, like that's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot to that. That's
nobody died. I learned something. That's actually that's a pretty great result.
And if people are dying from your bad paintings, you should stop painting.
Yeah, that is a bad superpower. Somebody asked, what about reference? What about using a mannequin?
Mannequin? I actually put one on my wish list the other day. They're kind of awesome if you're doing a lot of figure drawing and you really want to get good at drawing figures, as well as you can without reference. I'd say they're good up to a point. Like when you're trying to get finite details like hands and fingers, even the hand and finger mannequin, I don't know how helpful that is because it's so blocky, and
But that's
our
all
bodies
it's
are
supposed to
very
be.
intricate.
It's just supposed to get you to see the I think some of the perspective of blocking something in. Sort of like you would use Legos or something to build a building, just to see like, oh, okay, that's what that looking at that shape from that angle would look like, but not to actually use it for detail. Or those lay-in mannequins that Gurney brought up on his site. Those are pretty darn cool to think about.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, that would be awesome. But it's just...
I think we're going to go get a real doll.
Well, it's the idea, like, if you've got a costume and the whole...
you mean go get one? You mean you don't have one?
Go to Mark's house and borrow his real doll.
You can borrow mine.
But if you're working on a costume and you can't afford a model, those were awesome because you're just working on clothes. You use the model to set it up, and then you put it on that mannequin thing and go to town on the costume. And
somebody's pointing out that they cost a lot of money, but that's why you have friends. Have them pose for you.
That is the only reason you have friends.
That's the only reason I'm married. And that's that's why we had a boy. We got to get the model sessions going.
For that little bit of reference you need.
Yeah, I was actually talking to surprise Rebecca Gay the other day about this topic, and she actually brought up mannequins, and I have to look this up. So don't take this as a history lesson, but she said that when illustrators started using mannequins, sort of in the middle of the last century. It was a big deal. It was like, oh, you're cheating, like you're using this, da 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 da. But a lot of guys used it to do studies or to get ideas. But then when they went and made the final painting, they relied on their years of drawing study and or photo reference.
I mean, a lot of the old guys went and dug up people from their graves to use. So
yeah,
things have
not necessarily legally, but
no, definitely not always legally.
Who did that?
Like guys like Da Vinci and stuff. They used a lot of corpses. And they'd have these really intense like ropes and stuff hanging from the top so they could pose them.
Yep.
And you could only work with the dead body for like a week or so before it got really nasty.
I don't think I'm going to be trying that anytime soon.
So we've moved.
If you guys want to learn about like what it is to be like a starving artist, go read Dear Theo. It's the
Dear Theo. That's Van Gogh's brothers.
That's another interesting topic. If you look at it from that point of view, is that the starving artist is a new concept in the history of art.
It's a myth fantasy.
Yeah. Well, right, but I mean, the being an artist for a long time was a profession. Like you would be a carpenter, or a musician or something. It wasn't something that you necessarily had to do, and you had to starve to do it. So that was all new. Didn't it come about from the salon, like the people going against the academies that started the Impressionist movement?
Oh, I don't know where it came from. I know it's a stupid idea. So. You should feed yourself.
Well, just that people, that an artist should be the person that gives up everything, and it's not really
Salon
a real
de réfugiés. Somebody said Salon des réfugiés, the refugees.
Oh yeah.
Speak French.
So again,
It looks like it's spelled like refusees.
Don't.
You don't speak French.
That's right.
That's how you say it.
Don't quote me on that.
No, it's definitely not how you say it.
But or even landscape painting and stuff. There was a long time where when you painted, you basically, most of art history is illustration. You painted for the church.
Yeah.
Yep,
Painted
exactly.
Or for very, very rich people.
Yeah.
Right. Well, patrons.
Yeah, you
rich
had
patrons in the church.
Patrons.
And you didn't go outside and paint whatever you wanted. You just didn't do it.
Yeah. That idea was definitely more
You can
recent.
switch my camera stopped.
Oh.
Oh, there we go. Back on.
Yeah, do you want to
Interesting.
switch back to you, Mark?
Sure. Bing
Done you in a
66
while.
says the Caravaggio set up a full scene with quote-unquote actors and reportedly used a camera obscura to project the scene onto his canvas. Yeah, it's a technique that's been used for a long time, but he also, he
He knew how to draw.
Yeah. I
But
would hope
yeah,
so.
he used a tool.
See if I can switch back to me.
Is that the one where,
Premiere
like,
and
all
stuff
the-
did it too?
All the guys are like
Premiere. What was that movie? What was that movie with
Girl with the pearl earring.
the one that just came out with what's his name with
Oh, there's a new one.
oh, what's your freaking movie with
I don't feel so bad anymore.
okay, Harrison Ford, Replicants. Oh my God,
Replicant.
Blade Runner.
Blade
Okay,
Runner. Yeah.
Blade Runner did
Who's
not
the-
just come out.
wait. Who was the main actor in Blade
Didn't they do a
Runner?
director's cut?
yeah, they guess.
Um,
they did.
Who was the actor? Not
Besides Harrison Ford,
Yeah, the other guy.
the other guy.
The
Rutger
other
Hauer.
Rutger Hauer. So there's a movie that just came out with him called The Art. And it wasn't The Artist, but it was something else where it was like, almost like a documentary about one of these guys. I feel like it was Vermeer, but I could be wrong. Somebody on the chat, please tell me what this movie is. Not Hobo with a Shotgun. Very.
You're awesome.
Although I hear that's a cinematic masterpiece.
I'm sure it is.
Yeah. Anyway,
Great game.
I'm still playing around with the line just because
You've
that's what I
been
want.
actually fielding a lot of the questions and stuff too.
Oh,
Also,
here's a
I'm
good
busy.
thing to back up Mark, and because I know Noah's like, well, I just use shape, and there's nothing wrong with that, and there's nothing wrong with being a line guy.
It's okay.
Yeah, I think it depends on
Drawing
the
is
person.
really good. If you look at, like, let's take one of our heroes, well, at least one of mine, like Justin Gerard.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that guy. Just kidding.
So
Just kidding.
Justin, he's a
Justin's a
great
friend.
he's a great example of the importance of drawing in your painting or your process.
Yeah.
Like everything that you love about Justin Gerard comes simply always back to his drawing.
Yeah.
Especially
He's got
since he's a
killer drawing
watercolor
ability.
artist. He's painting over his lines. His lines are very important.
They're sure.
So, if you are the type of person that feels, oh my God, I spend all this time drawing, awesome. Don't feel
Go
like
for
you
it.
need
Yeah.
to change.
No, trust me, go for it.
Yeah.
Like, I mean,
Yeah, like, you
I
look-
guess my
you look
thing
at some of
is
these-
that
Right.
for the longest time in like art school and stuff, people just pushed line drawing all the time. And then one day I discovered, like, I work better in shape. I don't work well in line. And I think it just comes down to personal taste. I mean, I think some people work better in shape and some people work better in line.
I agree with you. I'm one of the
so-
shape
When
people
I
too.
started
Yeah.
when I started out using shading, I tend to sort of work out the form and the values at the same time, and I think that might be the thing that works for you, maybe, because I see you do that a lot in your.
Yeah. I don't know. It
It's
seems to make a
thinking
lot
about
more
it
sense to me.
simultaneously.
Yeah, it's like you're carving.
Yeah.
And that's the way it feels for me. I'm constantly carving shapes until they look like what I want, instead of just drawing it right to begin with.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just make a mess.
I like drawing something wrong.
I think really honestly, okay, right there, that's more of the appeal to me. That's why a lot of times I do start out with shading too, is because I can just start messing with it and then move it around and move it around again.
Yeah.
That's why when I do traditional
That's-
stuff,
I
I,
mean,
tend to be
that's-
very way more conscious about my lines.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying about painting. It's like painting's awesome. You can just paint over it.
Yeah.
It's not like digital has an advantage. I don't think digital has an advantage there.
I mean, I think with digital, there's more of a tendency to be slow about your decisions, you know, to make like 15 layers and have like each thing on a different layer so you can always change. And there's a hesitancy.
You don't have to commit. There's a
Yeah.
non-committal nature to it.
Yeah, exactly. So with like painting, you kind of have to commit. I mean, you can always change your mind later, but with each brushstroke.
With a lot of this stuff, I noticed that, or at least I've noticed in the industry, that sometimes there's sort of this, I don't know what to call this phenomena, but like it's like a rock star thing. It's like, people come and watch live streams where people are doing speed paintings or whatever, and those are totally awesome. But those guys are also really, really good. So it's like if you're in high school, if you're starting out in college or whatever, and you like go right to speed painting, you're missing, I think, a lot of the lessons. Like the only thing that ever matters really when you're doing this stuff is can you draw? Like that it all comes down to that. I don't care what kind of art you're doing. I don't care if you're Keith Haring. Like he probably knew how to draw the figure a little bit better than the subway stuff that he did. But like if you can do that, it'll show in your work. That's it. I always say like the secret to success is be good, be nice. No one's gonna hire you if you're not good.
That second one's very important.
Probably won't hire.
The second one's not that important.
Okay. Or be no.
Not to your peers.
There's a third option.
And then you don't have to be nice.
Oh, it's already 3:10. That's crazy.
No, I know. Really.
Yeah, you guys only got 50 minutes left.
How long?
50 minutes. Oh no. How's yours going, Noah?
I like
easier
mine.
to draw the lines. It's easier for some. I mean, it's everybody does it differently. Some people find it easier to paint stuff. Some find it easier to draw lines.
Yeah, I mean, I was always actually kind of jealous of the people that were able to do stuff in line. Just because, despite my efforts, I mean, my line drawings are pretty bad.
My line drawings are pretty loose, for sure. Like, I mean, even if I go back to my line layer on this drawing, it's very... I do have a very thick, non-committal sort of lines going on here, and then it sort of gets refined. I just wanted, the basic shape to go down of the form. But, yeah, I mean, really, people that excel in beautiful line work, when you have line as your finished product, that's pretty spectacular,
Yeah, I'm really jealous.
It's great if you can do all of the above.
Yeah,
which is why for some of my
illustration
work, I've been pushing myself to do line work, because I feel like if I can get my line work stronger, and I actually like my drawing,
everything will follow. Absolutely.
Right, my shape paintings will, or whatever I paint over it, I will stay in love with it.
Yeah, that's
somebody's
that's
asking.
Why
This
I
is
push
a
my
good
drawings
question.
too.
Yeah.
There's two good questions, or one compliment. Brad says that one of the favorite things about this episode so far is the contrast and how quick different methods are, but also what the different approaches are to do different things, or what to emphasize. And I think that's the point of the episode, is that we all do things
being ourselves
a little bit differently. And even just in this study, like, we're all choosing to do things differently. Like, Noah could easily have chosen to do a line drawing, but he's doing what he's doing, and that's just a choice. He'll do a line drawing another day. And the question, this is Mark drawing right now. And Rob Go says, so what would be your protocol if something's due in a couple hours? How do you keep yourself from panicking?
Breathe.
Keep drawing.
Shut up and keep working.
Yeah, shut up and keep working. There is no time for panic. Something's due in 2 hours. You've let it go.
If it's literally due in 2 hours, man, you need
that's,
to.
And you haven't started.
You
should definitely panic.
You're doing something wrong.
Now, if you have something due like that night and you have all night to work on it, that's a whole different story.
If it's an emergency situation where, like, you were stranded somewhere and couldn't get, I don't know, that's still pretty bad.
Yeah.
Well,
I was going to say, you might want to call the art director at that point.
We know that's not what you're asking. I think.
I mean, I guess how to not panic under deadlines.
Yeah, I think, for real advice is don't, get to understand your process and how fast you can do things. Like, we're going to finish this, and then I'm going to know that I can do something at about this level in 2 hours.
Yeah.
If I take it at this pace, I can maybe go a little faster, but I know that because I've done it. So that's why you do studies. That's why you do lots of studies, so that when something's due in 2 hours, you know whether or not there's no panic. There's just a choice. The choice is either I plan this correctly and I promise something in 2 hours that I can do, or I need to make a phone call to the client and tell him that we're going to need to do it in 3 hours, or it's going to be tomorrow, or maybe you eat it because you made a mistake, and that'll happen. You want to avoid that, and you avoid that by practicing.
Yeah,
and knowing your own speed.
Yeah, knowing your speed, and then knowing shortcuts. I mean, I hate to break it to you, but if I'm on a tight deadline, I will bust out some serious shortcuts to get a piece done. I don't recommend
Mike has a good point. He's saying, ask for more time. It's not a big deal.
Yeah, because
usually that's preferable. That's preferable to the alternative, which is not turning something in or turning something really horrible in.
Yeah.
I was talking to Jason Seiler.
Yeah.
About he was telling me about a lot of his deadlines. How I think in the editorial world, the deadlines are a lot faster of a turnaround.
Oh, much.
So yeah, he
sometimes a day or two.
Yeah, no, or that day.
Yeah,
2 days, 3 days, 24 hours, 6 hours.
So if you don't check your email for a full day, then you might be screwed.
Yeah, you miss the job
later.
So,
wow.
Yeah, the editorial world is fast.
Whew.
Somebody asked me quick about. Sorry, I just want to address something about this piece. Somebody said, "Oh, the line drawing is great. Thank you very much. And it would be great if there were more darks." I know that what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to go under it with. I'm going to put some color underneath, which is going to help make those darks as they are stand out. I know that because I've done it before, and I think it's going to work on this time, which is why I'm not going uber dark. I'm choosing not to go to black. It's just a choice, and we'll see if it works. But I'll find out in the end. If it doesn't work,
hey, all you did was
oh
fail.
well.
Then you'll know for next time.
I will know for next time.
Yep.
Oh, Cynthia, you're back on.
All right.
Somebody was asking if we're going to have all of these recorded. And yes, we do have a full recording of each of them.
We're really excited about that, too, because if this is working out the way we hope, the editing is going to be awesome. It's going to be very fun.
Yeah. You'll be able to see all of us paint. So
now that it's back to me again, I mean, I've been going super kind of realistic with this. Oh, it's auto switching. That's interesting. All right, whatever.
I don't know. I don't know if it is. It's still on you. But can you also quickly say? Can you? Oh God, we got a lot of questions.
Wow.
Okay.
All of a sudden,
somebody's asking about your brush, Cynthia. Brad's also asking, is the best generic heads on a page and blocking in basic shapes? And Rob says, what happened when you're confronted with an art direction that you know is going to drastically damage the way your work is going?
Wow,
let's
that's
go
a
with your
lot
brush,
of questions.
and then head studies,
first,
and then art director.
The brush is the easy one. Right now, let me pull out my brushes here. I'm using a custom brush that I made called the Mostly Harmless brush. It's basically just a big texture.
Mostly harmless?
Yes.
That's what you named your brush.
There we go. That's what the brush looks like by itself. Let me zoom in on that. Basically, I just made a texture and then made a brush out of it. And it's sort of like, it's almost a perfect, when I make marks with it, it's almost a perfect round, but it's got just a little bit of texture to it, and I really enjoy the look that gives me.
Yeah.
When I get
nice
really...
having that little bit of texture.
Yeah, it's making a few little decisions for me, but not, too many. What was the next question? Okay, brushes.
Next question was,
is
the best thing just to do a bunch of generic head studies on a page? That is definitely a thing to do.
It's a thing you can do, yeah.
Thing. It's not the only thing. You should definitely do it. But...
Yeah, I mean, it's the best thing if you're studying how to put heads on a page, I guess. It's the best answer to that question.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a good idea. I mean, you need to be able to paint a lot of heads.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, doing portraits is very difficult. Probably one of the most difficult things to do in art, I would say.
I love portraits.
Yeah, I mean, they're a lot of fun, but...
because they are so challenging.
Yeah, because you have to get all these proportions and forms and color right, and trying to get a likeness.
And trying to get the personality through is I think...
Getting mood in there, and they're extremely complicated things, so they definitely take a lot of practice.
So yeah, in answer to your question, yeah, do lots of head studies. There's no such thing as a bad study, I don't think, unless you're studying a technique incorrectly, in which case you're just solidifying something wrong. But yeah, no, subject matter wise, there's no such thing as a bad study.
Yeah.
there can be ineffective study if you're not concentrating.
Yeah, there is that. I mean, you can be kind of wasting your time if you just keep doing the same thing all day. But
Cartoon animals. There was a kid in my art school who did the kind of awesome little cartoon animals all the time, but that is definitely all he did.
really,
Yeah, and if that's all he practiced, then that's all he'll ever be able to do.
you,
Yeah.
You will
I actually
always
have no idea what he's doing at this point.
the outcome of your work will always be what you practice. So, so what was the last question about art directors?
Oh, what happens if you have an art director who's asking you to do something or use a technique or whatever that's going to be damaging to your work? I would say you say no.
Wait.
or you say
Damaging
yes.
my work. Yeah, okay, are we talking about like a bad solvent, or are we talking about a style that I don't want in my portfolio?
I don't know. Rob, maybe you can clarify your question. But like, if an art director, I've had this happen where an art director comes to me and says, "I really want." This happened the other day. Got a call. Some guy's working on a movie. He's got a budget. I'm like, "Oh, this sounds great." And he's like, "We really want, something like this." And he sends me something that looks like James Gurney.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You might want to call James Gurney.
Yeah, I actually did. I was like, seriously, I was like, here's his information. You should call this guy. Like, he is exactly who you're looking for. I'm not.
You named him.
My uncle wanted to hire somebody, or Chloe's uncle wanted to hire somebody to do this like big Lord of the Rings, Caravaggio, something. And I was like, I appreciate that you are talking to me about it, but here's Donato's information. And now Donato's actually working on it. So it's like, on one hand, like you got to pay the rent. On the other hand, if you take a job that you aren't going to do a great job at, that's your name on that thing that isn't going to look good. So don't do it.
Yeah.
And also, if you give work to your friends, it's awesome. They love it. They come back to you.
Yep.
I
know you've given me work before.
I think we've all
I
passed.
think I've
passed
given
stuff
work
around
to
at
some people
point.
at least.
Yeah, we've all tried.
Yep.
Most of the stuff that I have to turn down, though, is just stuff I wouldn't force on you guys. So that's why I don't give it to you. It's because I'm like, wow, this is a horrible client. I don't hate you guys that much.
I do, when you talk about like something being damaging, if you're talking about it in terms of something that you wouldn't want to put in your portfolio.
Yeah.
I mean, I take on jobs like that sometimes, and sometimes I really enjoy them, but they're not the kind of thing that I want to do all the time. And I think you really just have to make a decision by the assignment at that point. Like, I don't want to be identified as a children's book illustrator, but I have done children's book art. That's the kind of thing. Like, you just have to make the decision with each project.
Or you take something on that you don't think you'll enjoy, and then all of a sudden you're like, whoa, wait a minute. This is awesome.
I have had that happen too.
Yeah. Yeah, I think,
right.
just you gotta. I think you have to protect. At some point, you have to protect your time and your reputation. If you know that an art director is gonna, if you can just tell that the guy's or girl is or whoever's gonna start, coming in with tons of changes and doesn't want to pay you more, I would probably find a way to turn that down too. If you know that it's just like absolutely nothing you want to work on, unless you need the money, which is a totally legit reason to take work.
Yep.
Yeah, paying the bills.
But be careful. I would say just be careful. Just because sometimes you think you need the money, but maybe you don't right now. Like I think Scott Fisher was talking about. He was sort of dry for work at one point, and instead of like going and hunting down smaller jobs, he made sort of his own IP, like his own sort of kid style book, and broke into a whole new market.
Yeah.
He basically paid himself with his savings to work on something that he loved, and it completely paid off. Now he's got like fantasy stuff, and he's got children's stuff.
Yeah, I gotta admit that doing personal work when you don't have jobs can lead to so much more work than you might imagine.
Yep. Especially if you really love it, if you really get into it.
Yeah, which is sort of why this project is happening right now with this subject matter. I feel like, I don't know, at least I feel like I've got something here that I want to keep exploring. So
I think I'm at the point in this painting right now. Like, I don't know if we're still on me or not, but
Yep.
We are.
Like,
yeah,
I've-
see, if I'm
I've got a very like realistic image of this chick here now. But I feel like I want to make my own decisions at this point. Like, now that I've pretty much copied this reference photo, what can I add to this piece? So while you switch over to Noah, I'm going to be making those decisions.
maybe I switch over to John. I don't know. Oh wait, maybe I'm switching to you. I don't have the preview. Oh wait. Here we go. Yeah, we've got about 35 minutes left. Noah, we're back to
Elf chick.
what is that? Bilbo Baggins' girlfriend.
Hell yeah.
Hello.
Hell yeah.
She looks scared. She looks like she's been drinking, man.
Why does she look like she's been drinking?
She just does.
No, give her my number. I could be that mistake.
I think it's the red nose.
Yeah, I did kind of overblow the red nose thing.
We talked about hemoglobin and stuff earlier, but that's pretty red.
Yeah, I tend to do that, and then I'm like, oh, that's a bad decision. I need to make that nose a little more normal.
Did you guys see Superbad?
Yes.
Yes, it lived up to its name.
No, that was awesome.
No,
I
I
thought
mean
it was
I mean that in a good
Yes.
way. I mean that in a totally complimentary way.
You know when you see those girls and they're all like, oh man, Saturday night I had sex with this guy. It was such a mistake. We could be that mistake.
Such a good,
Um,
bad movie.
Noah, good
Yeah.
question. Oh, I love that. I like that shoulder. Noah, good
That
job.
shoulder?
Yeah, that.
You mean that shoulder?
Well, two things. One, somebody's asking what your goal is for the painting. What do you want to be doing with it?
Elf chick.
Second, I want you to talk about the lighting on that shoulder and how it comes around and what's going on, like where all the value shifts are. Because I think that would be a great thing to talk about.
What do you mean by the value shifts? Oh, you mean
Wow.
how they like faded out the light down there?
Okay, so if the light's coming from a certain angle, why it's bright in some place, and when it goes around the shoulder, why does it get dark and then light again?
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is a case where this is why you kind of learn your anatomy. Because even though you can kind of see the forms in there, it's kind of hard to pick out which ones are important and which ones aren't. So this
From
is why
the photo, you mean?
Yeah. So this is why you study your anatomy so that you kind of know at least the general forms that you're looking for. And then you just start to pull out those forms and define that as transitions. And this is one case where like the smudge tool is awesome for defining form. Because you just like put a dark mark there and then like smudge one of the sides of it. And then that way you have a hard edge on one side and a soft on the other.
And can you say why you would choose to have a hard edge on one side? So that I don't know. I'm afraid of like people going back and like having hard edges and stuff that just kind of all over the place.
Yeah. Well, I guess just you're trying to describe that change of planes.
Oh, this is so much fun.
What was your goal with this painting, Noah?
Hot elf chick.
Quite a goal.
Oh, wait, was I supposed to have more of a goal than that?
Well, okay, the theme is Toy Hunter, and right now, like, this
Wait, your
particular
theme is
reference
Toy
photo...
Hunter?
Whatever. Oh, your
The
theme
name
is
of the
Hunter.
photo was Toy Hunter.
Oh.
And-
not on
and
the
I know
copy
that
got.
In the other photos in this set, there were more explicit shots where she had, like, a hat on made out of a teddy bear and things like that. We're not seeing that in this, so she kind of could be turned into anything like a hot elf chick.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm trying to decide right now what...
Hot vampire chick.
I could do another hot vampire chick, but I'm feeling like I might be kind of over vampires today.
That's amazing. That's so weird.
I'm moving.
just for today.
I just noticed that the hand that I had drawn was a little too just direct. Like I want it to be tilted a little bit, have a little feeling pointing back towards her. Which, if you get the download, you'll see my painting.
Oh yeah.
I can go back. I'm going to go back to Aaron
Oh.
in a minute.
You already
You,
sick of my
sir.
painting?
Oh, it does. There's some way on the Procast. There's some way. Oh, nice. There's some way to set it up so that it transitions automatically. I'm gonna look this up after the show.
Oh, like at a different time interval or something. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I guess I think there's a way to do it. It looks like there's a way to do it where you're like, oh, every 10 minutes or whatever.
I just wanted to call out the fact that I did a vertical flip there for a little bit.
Oh,
It's just one of those cool things you can do to really check the whole thing somewhat abstractly.
flippage.
Yeah, guys on the chat, please upload your stuff to WIP and
Yeah,
tag it
we'd love to see it.
Toy Hunter.
Yes.
And you can go to WIP and you can look
Is
up
there a
the
space
tag.
in there?
Just all one word.
One word, Toy Hunter. Yeah, that'd be awesome
also
to see
tag
some of your
it.
stuff. And we might make an album on Facebook and upload them all in there.
That would be so much fun. We'd love this.
You guys are okay with that? Yeah. Make sure to put just as a favor to us, put your name or URL in the image somewhere light, like on the bottom
Yeah,
as a
so we can link
watermark,
it up.
just so that we don't have to figure it out. we want
I mean-
to credit people's work if we're posting it. You know,
Yeah.
it's your work. Sprinkles. Okay, Miller, I think I'm going to try to, I think I remember which one you are. I'm going to go back to you.
See what Aaron's up to.
No good.
There we go. Wow, Miller,
Yeah.
can you zoom in on your item?
Looking good.
Can I
Nice.
zoom in? Yeah, I can try. Hold on. Remember, I'm dealing with a DSLR, so it's a little more manual than most stuff.
Yeah.
Let's see.
See, Mike Riviero had to go. Thanks for tuning in, Mike. You're like super fan. It's awesome. We're a super fan of yours.
Mike's
So it's
a
like
man.
nice.
Got a good question from Radiku. She said, my school doesn't have drawing or painting classes, but it does have pottery and sculpture classes. Would something like that benefit drawing or painting at all?
Are they figure sculpture?
That's a good question. If they are figure sculpture, I would definitely say
Yeah.
yes.
If they're figure
I mean-
sculpture, hell yes. Take that stuff.
Working with your hands is always good. I don't know if a pottery class would really, I mean, if it's like
I'm
bowls
sure you'd
and
learn
stuff.
something, but
There's-
I don't know how
So-
much it would help with drawing skills, but
Oh, you
I don't know
would
how
be
much it would help your
surprised.
concepts are.
I was
you'd
just
be
gonna.
surprised.
I was
You
just
know,
gonna
there's
say
stuff
that
to learn.
if you have the self-discipline, man, you can learn a lot from about $50 to $75 worth of clay, all by yourself, no classes.
Wow, that's a lot of clay.
No. Well, it's
Like
the
30 pounds
clay
of clay.
and the bone that you should try sculpting. You can learn a lot. The sacrum.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. If you try and sculpt that and learn, you can learn so much from that form.
Somebody mentioned on the chat, and I want to say thank you. You're welcome. I posted on my live stream a WordPress tutorial in under 5
Oh, yeah.
minutes.
Yeah.
You can get your artwork online. So anybody who's like, I don't know how to get my artwork online. Oh, it's like I gotta go. Just go watch my tutorial. It's livestream.com/Marc Scheff. It's the tutorial is 6 minutes. It should take you about that much time to have a website with your own URL. It's totally free, and your portfolio can be out. If you have other questions about how to customize, like it doesn't look exactly what you want because you'll want to customize it, I'm happy to answer questions. You can email me. You can ask us on the Awesome Horse stream or on my live stream when I do, which is totally random.
Aren't we all?
Josh Hagan asks, it's a good question about the WordPress stuff, which is it wordpress.com or .org? The answer is it's .com. .com is the free version. .org is the version where you download and upload it to your own URL. There is another. I will probably do another tutorial about how to do that on your own URL, and I think I mentioned it at the end of this one. But you can go to, and of course I'm going to post a link. You can go to dreamhost.com, get an account, and there's a thing at the bottom that says one-click installs, and you can install WordPress in one click. You don't have to know anything about it.
But they did just lose all
That's
their
what I need.
username and passwords.
Oh yeah, I got that. No. The
Well, they didn't
the
lose like
FTP shell.
the accounts. Yeah.
Yeah, it's no big deal. Anyone signing up.
Yeah.
Ludic, who asked, if you do WordPress.com, you get, whatever your name is or whatever you want, .wordpress.com. It is a unique URL, and it's free, and there's nothing, that's cool. If you want your own, markscheff.com, noahbradley.com, A, you can't have those. B, if you want, if you want your own.
How much money you pay me? You're not getting
Click
that.
Click on the link that I just pasted in the chat, and we may put it up with the episode. You sign up for DreamHost. It costs some amount per year. You figure out if you're okay with the cost. But the great thing about DreamHost is that they have a one-click install for WordPress. So you go, yeah, and lots of other stuff. But you can go, you can do like a quick one-click. You'll get an email that says go to your WordPress site, and then you can follow my tutorial for the rest. It all depends on whether or not you want your own URL. I like having my own URL. I like having that kind of control.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't care. If you're just trying to get your work up, just get your work up.
Yeah.
Ludic, you should have it. Click on my link. Disclosure, I get a kickback on that link, but it doesn't cost you anything.
Or pick me. Just kidding.
What about me? I have DreamHost.
Oh, you're fine.
You guys can post your link from there. We should just put up a post with all of our referral links for everything and just be
And then
like
whoever they like the most.
yeah.
Pick me!
Josh Hagen asks, is it possible to change from .org to .com? Yeah, if you've got, for your URL.
No, they're talking like from WordPress.
Well, if you're talking about your URL, you just have to buy another URL, and then you switch that over. For WordPress, it's actually very easy. In the tool, there's a tools section. You can export. It exports everything in a little XML file, and then you can import it to another site. And the import uploads all the data from the XML and also grabs all the images off of your current site. So that, if you've set something up, I'll do this sometimes where I'll do like a test site, like I just set up a subdomain and I do a bunch of mucking around. When I got it looking good, I'll export it and then pull it into whatever the actual URL is. No, you wouldn't, Josh. You wouldn't. I mean, you can Josh, why don't you email me if you have like a deeper question than that? It sounds like you have a specific case that we don't necessarily need to deal with right here, but I'm happy to help you out. Totally. How's that going, Aaron?
Slow compared to everyone else.
Slow.
Aww.
Not me, man. You got paint on. Got no color.
But I'm having fun.
Is there a reason you darken the face like that?
Because I'm not done with it.
Oh. I kind of like the darkened face. I think it looks kind of cool.
Because shut up.
I did it because of shut up.
I just put down some color. I'm kind of working with it. I'm just not done. I'm kind of bouncing around. I felt like working on the hand a little bit.
Makes sense.
But
somebody's asking if we use Photoshop's natural brushes. Anyone?
I use those for some blenders. I like the blending
I just haven't really
brush.
messed around with it very much.
Yeah,
I did. I didn't like them that much. I mean, I don't know. They're not bad. I just haven't really used them that much. Not enough to really say whether I think they're good or. I don't think they're as good as Corel. Just Painter.
Yeah, hopefully the next version will.
Yeah, hopefully. I just as much as I like Painter or what it produces, I am not a fan of their user interface.
Yeah.
User
I hear
interface.
it's hard to pick up if you're used to Photoshop.
Barely know her.
What? Oh.
Oh.
Yeah.
20 minutes left. Any
All right.
questions on the chat? Keep them coming. This has been a good episode. Lots of great questions, guys. Thank you.
Yeah. 4
been really
cool
fun.
paintings.
I'm using a brush I'm not used to using to just experiment around.
Oh, Justin A. Dorse says, I said that art directors don't like portfolios with lightboxes. WordPress uses lightbox. No, WordPress
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't have
WordPress
to
is
be
WordPress. There are the built-in
It uses what
gallery
you
with
tell it.
WordPress the built-in gallery on my tutorial does not use Lightbox, and that is built into WordPress. There are plugins that you can use to show your portfolio that do. If you go to my website, marcscheff.com, and look in the blog, there is a blog post about 6 or 7 WordPress themes that don't use Lightbox. So you can go grab one of those themes. If you want to know how to install themes, I'm happy to tell you, email me or remind me. I can post it on the thing or ask me. I mean, I think we all know how to do it, so we can answer it offline probably.
You know what the next awesome thing to come out with some of these portfolio sites are the options to not have every single image in that same rectangle, same shape.
Oh, you don't have to do that.
I know, but it's not, usually it's not automatic, and you have to know the code.
Sure it is. You just change the size of the featured image. Oh, I know about technology.
I hate you, Mark.
I know.
You know more than I do.
That's a recent change. They just started really emphasizing the use of the featured image, which has been awesome because you can, if you don't like the size, the standard size is 150 by 150 for the thumbnail, you can go in and make your own. It's like a tiny little bit of extra work, but I'm like so happy with that control now.
Right.
So I can have images of different sizes. It's how we do the thumbnails on us, of course.
The art directors will say, I don't want to see a little square of your painting. I want to see a thumbnail of your painting.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So that's.
Somebody actually asked me about that too. I think they just want to, as far as I know, they want to see enough that they know what painting it is.
Right, so they know where to find it again.
They don't want like a square crop of the eye on a figure piece because they're like.
Yeah, but a lot of people do that.
Which just
still.
happens.
It's crazy.
That's
In the middle of the last decade, that was really popular.
Yeah.
Lightbox. Somebody's asking what's the problem with it. When you click it and it opens in a Lightbox, you don't get a URL, so you can't link directly to the image, and you can't drag the image to the desktop and save it. So art directors can't
slow.
pass stuff around, and it's slow. So just
And Noah hates it.
no. Don't do it because Noah hates
I think
it.
I've said this before. People are like, the reason Lightbox was so popular in part was because people wanted to avoid having images linked to a separate page for an image because it was slow. But guess what? The internet's faster.
The internet's fast now. I love it when you
totally
had that
fine.
realization in real time. It was really fun.
Oh my god! I was like, whoa, it's awesome. You know, it's like I used to code all my websites by hand, and I'm still glad I can because I can muck with WordPress. But like, I don't do it anymore. WordPress is doing the work for me. I don't need to.
Yep.
So I don't need to use Lightbox because like the internet's done a bunch of work since I started doing this. Thank you, internet.
Go internet.
Thank you, internet.
Go continue to kill Sopa and Pipa. Keep us.
Yeah. Does anyone else look at that and think Sopapilla?
I don't know what
Nope.
Soapy is.
Just you.
Just you.
So I'm gonna switch to me.
I'm okay with being alone.
Like 8 minutes. Yeah, just a reminder to people, please go upload anything you're drawing off of this reference to Whip Nation and tag it Toy Hunter, all one word.
Because we would love to see it.
Yes.
So we're back, I think, to me. I'm flipping the cans again.
Look at that.
So I've just been focused mostly on the face and the hand. Maybe because I really like Rockwell. Did you guys all just cut out?
Nope. I'm here.
I think
No,
it just
I just
kinda
stopped
went-
talking.
Oh.
Yeah, we're
Okay.
all just working away.
We're all paying very close attention.
We gotta finish these things up in about 15 minutes.
I know. I gotta start on the face.
It's hard enough to talk and paint at the same time. I've been in the zone the whole time.
So people are asking about goals with paintings. I really want to focus on my drawing and not trying to pump something out, which is, both are fine. But I'm trying to focus on the drawing. That's why I'm doing the drawing. I'm trying to find interesting abstractions of the shapes in her hair. Like I may see how there's this shape that comes out here. I think I'm not going to do that. But that's just a choice. Maybe it's a bad one. I'll send this to these guys later and they'll say, you're an idiot. And I'll say, oh, right. and then I'll
It's
fix
not
it.
because of your choice.
I'm still trying to figure out what she's looking at over her shoulder in my piece. Like I know I have a really tight crop.
Somebody suggested that it's perhaps the toys are hunting her.
Ooh, I like that.
In my picture, I think she sees a toy that she's kind of into, and she's like, "Oh, I know he's the enemy, but
Yeah, I think I kind of got that same thing. Like, yeah,
That's
cute.
Buzz Lightyear. He's so sexy." So somebody's asking, what's a good color for doing highlights on wood? Are you talking about painting on wood? I would definitely. I mean, if it were me, I would prime the wood with something.
I think if you're doing highlights on like a piece of wood, it's definitely going to depend on A, the type of wood it is, and B, the finish.
Oh.
Like if you've got oak or something, it's going to be a really yellow highlight. And it also depends on your light source. I mean, that's sort of like saying what's the best color for skin out of a million colors. Depending on, I would say find reference for whatever you're looking for, unless you have a really specific question about a specific type.
Or
of wood.
if you have the wood handy in person, that's obviously
that's obviously a better choice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was going to say sometimes finding reference doesn't always mean find a photo of it on Google Images.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
I needed some pictures or some reference of leaves. So I went to the conservatory yesterday and took my own. Did some sketches and stuff.
And God knows
Nice.
Donato brings like dead fish into a studio to paint.
Yeah,
I
would do the
remember
same
that.
thing.
Yes.
I would totally do that. I'm actually looking forward to that. Someone asked me to paint a mermaid. I'm going to the fish market.
Yeah, I remember
Oh.
like one of the painting classes at RISD. It wasn't the one I was in, but the professor, he was convinced that the best way to learn how to paint a figure is to paint raw chicken.
Ooh.
So
you
everybody,
mean skin or a figure?
no, like paint, yeah. And so like everybody had to bring in like
figure
raw
of
chicken. And I was like, oh my god, really?
It's
He's
an
a pretty good painter too.
It's an
See, in
interesting
college,
idea.
I didn't know how to cook, so that would have been a bad day for the chicken. Nowadays, I could do something with it afterward. But
Whoa, at Pratt they go to a morgue, or as Kiri said, a morgue. Sorry, Kiri, that was really funny. Yeah, they go to a morgue. That's crazy. That's funny.
it's awesome.
Yeah.
I live near Pratt.
Good for you.
Not too special.
They have a
I
they have a
live
cool
near a ton of free museums. I can't complain.
they have a cool 24-hour drawathon. Literally from 12. It's maybe it is 24 hours, but it's definitely 7 p.m. I think 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. And they just have like drawing all night. They get a bunch of pizza, and then at the end it's like this great, like big, weird, like all the models on one stage just like moving around, and it's pretty awesome. Her eyes look weird. Yeah, that left eye, I'm not super happy with it. I think it needs to be stretched out a little bit. So this is where.
Yeah, you can't do that with a painting.
Oh, get over it, Aaron.
You can paint over it.
Xanax, we will. Oh, yeah. You know what? I have the eyes looking in two slightly different places. That's a good point. So this is here. This is here. This is where I wanna look at the reference and just maybe do it from there. I was hoping to go something a little bit. Let's see. Can I use the move tool? Okay, I've got a second layer with the reference image so that I can. This is a cool trick that I use where like I'll take the reference, I'll use a mask on it, then you can go look up how to use layer masks, and then pull like pieces of the reference very close so I can see what's off. Now that left eye is a little bit squished. I'm doing it intentionally. I don't know if it works, but I'm doing it just to. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of things that people can do intentionally that don't work, like art that I do that's bad. But I'm trying to actually have this wrap a little bit more around. Just want to show the underside of that a little bit more so you can see that eye there is wrapping.
I need the tiny brushes.
I don't know if that works. So I'm going to look at the shape of this eye. This eye is. I just have to move these pupils and make sure. So this is where measuring comes in, right? Now I'm going to cite this, and I'll do a little red line just to show you what I'm thinking. Let's see. So I'm basically just at this point I'm going to look and see, like, I'm going to try to cite this out, but I'll show you where I'm looking and how I'm measuring. I'm looking at this distance and how it compares to the distance, and that's a little bit. So I know that the pupil comes out to a little bit less than halfway. It looks like there's a little bit more room on this side, and I'm trying to do this without using this line, but this line's it's a good way to check. And again here, this is about exactly halfway, which is counterintuitive, right? You think that if the left eye on this painting is pulled, further to the left, her right, then this one on the far side, if it's looking at the same thing, wouldn't it be pulled even further? Well, according to my measurements, no. I don't know if that's but that's what I'm discovering here. So I'm going to use that information. And I can see that here too. I can see, just visually, I can see that this pupil takes up less space in the eye than this. So I just, I'm going to go in and erase some of this eye that I drew in. And that's weird to me, but hey, you learn something new every day.
Hey, I've got a question. It's something that I'll do every once in a while to check something, especially when it's either digital or even traditional. If I have a photo that I'm working from laying around, when you're trying to eyeball it and you're looking at something, what am I not getting? It just doesn't look right. So here and there, I will take that reference and a piece of tracing paper and then just trace it out and see what that shape looks like and compare it to my shape that I've made from eyeballing it to try and see what kinds of things you tend to naturally change. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Where you do you naturally elongate
So
something?
if you draw that arm and if you draw that arm and you're like, something's wrong, and then you go and you do a quick trace and you're like, oh, it looks like I was drawing it too fat. Now you know that you tend to draw too fat, and you can correct the other direction when you're doing sight drawing.
Right, just so that you know that you
Yes.
always a lot of people will tend to make their heads either too big or actually they make them too small when they.
I had
in
big
life
head
drawing
syndrome
class.
for a really long time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So then you do your little, you do your drawing, and you're like, what? Why? What? Just I can't put my finger on it, and then you do a quick tracing paper shape check, and then you're like, oh, look what I'm doing. Look what I can't see with my own eye.
Yeah.
And then you go back and then you start trying to correct it. I was wondering if anyone has ever done that besides me.
Yes, I have done that.
No, I mainly focus on just flipping the image and seeing my mistakes that way.
Oh yeah, you could do that too.
Yeah, that's most of what I do.
More than one
I did
way
the
to
I did the
skin a
tracing
cat.
paper thing a lot traditionally, actually.
Just to try to what am I not getting here? What?
Yeah, unless you've got someone. I mean, if you've got someone who can sit there and be like, oh, your head's too big. Look, and draw it for you. Great. I mean, that's helpful too. It's so funny. There's so many tools you can use as an illustrator. Again, and just want to keep emphasizing this. Just learn to draw. That's the thing. But you can use these tools to check your work for sure.
Yeah.
I think this is just an opinion, man.
Uh-oh.
You have an opinion.
We hate those. No, I'm joking. Go ahead.
Somebody's asking, Jesse, my Facebook friend, Jesse Jellybean, is asking me, why do I use this blue tone? I didn't have a good reason. I mean, I wanted to use a toned background. I wanted so that I could pull out some of these highlights. I pulled the blue actually just off of here, and I just wanted a mid-tone. So the red, I could have picked any color, and then I just chose a darker version of that color to go in with the line. And I'm using, let's see, I can even show you which color. I'll sample that here. It's pretty dark, but it's in the middle of the color range here. So that what that allows me is I've got room to go even darker and more saturated if I want. So like when I can actually paint in, if I realize that I've got a darker shadow under here, I don't need to go and do a bunch of erasing. I can actually just paint that in with a slightly darker shape. I knew that I was going to do that going in because I've done these studies before. If I just went in with black and I realized that, oh shoot, I wish I had more range on the bottom there, then okay, learned a lesson. Next time I'll do it this way so that I can do that thing that I like. Hope that answers your question.
If you, I got a piece of information I thought of from art school. One of my teachers, one of the things that he would do to check some of his work, or if you've got like an idea of trying to do something a little different, he would put a piece of glass. Obviously, you have to wait till your painting's dry. But he would put a piece of glass over his painting.
Okay.
He would put the glass over his painting and paint the change to see if it was going to work before he actually painted the change. So
yeah, I've heard people use that one.
Yeah.
Which sounds pretty cool.
Somebody's asking how I'm going to add color to this. Well, here, I'll show you. We've only got like 4 minutes left.
No.
Oh my gosh! Wow, I had no idea. I'm just lost here. Do you want to switch back and forth real quick between everyone's? Because I had no idea we were so short on time.
Let me just quickly. Somebody's asking me about color.
No.
We can go over in a couple of minutes.
Well, thankfully, Cynthia can just edit him out in the end.
That's awesome.
I'm still going to use the reference for value, but I could pick, any color I want. I could pick a complementary color over here, and start with some sort of mid-tone, a little less saturated. I'm not planning on doing any like major rendering like those guys are doing for this study. I just want to play around with the form. So I'll just do the face real quick just so you can see kind of how I would approach it. So again, I'm gonna stick to monochrome. I'm gonna go, and I see that this side of the face is generally lit. Again, I'm not going pure white at any point. In fact, I'll probably never go pure white. The lightest I'll go is kind of up here with like a super saturated version of the color. But I'm only going to really push that in for the highlights. So, yeah, this is basically how I'd start to go in for the color. I could go in with a less. I could even. Oh, this would be fun if I like picked a. Okay, so I'll keep going on this color. I'll switch to you guys real quick, but
just
relax.
Perfect timing.
So I'm going to grab that. I see the light coming through on this cheek, little Rembrandt lighting going on this. Nice job, Aaron. And then maybe I'll take a color. So I've got a color that's almost a complement over here. I'm going to pick another one over here because tertiary color schemes are fun. And I'll go in and, I'll vary with I'll turn down the opacity on this and I'll go in and fill in these tattoos maybe. Now that's a little too flesh colored, I think. So I'm gonna stick to the red. Little Terra Rosa. Anyway, this is how I go in with color underneath that line. I'm not going to do anything, like I said, as rendered as what those guys are doing, but I want to give some life to this, and I'll probably pull. There you see, I just picked a color sample from the background. I'm going to go in with that on the eye just to make the eyes stand out from the face, and also to tie this to the background. Okay, I hope that answers your question. Whoever asked the question. Oh, the color picker is Control Option Command on a Mac, and you just click when you have the brush. So this is I'm gonna take the color off, but this is basically what I've been working on. This is the, this is a line study. Worked mostly up and in the face and on the hand. I'll go in and add some details down here so it's not as loose, but this is kind of where things are at. And let's switch it up to the next person, who I think is Noah.
Noah!
Off check. So yeah, kind of wrapping things up here. Doing last little adjustments and cleaning things up and making it pretty.
Can you say anything about what those adjustments are?
Just little tweaks to the form, like sharpening up a few little highlights, punching up some contrast in a few areas, getting rid of some like stray lines and stuff that shouldn't be there. Just general cleanup I like to do before the image is done.
Came out nice, man. I think you should put it up on your blog or
Yeah,
Facebook.
I think I will. I think it's pretty decent. It's nothing too
Blog-worthy.
it's nothing too original, but it's kind of fun. I like Geltrick.
Okay, so let's see if I can get to the next.
Oh, and yes, I am only working on one layer. I actually have been the whole time. Because it's what I do.
We are going to syncing all the viewers. Something's happening.
Sneaking.
Well, Noah's still on. Pleasant.
Yep, still on.
He's our
See if I can
favorite.
get to doing.
He's my hero.
The camera
I
loves
know I
him.
am.
Oh my god.
I'm everyone's hero. I'm my own hero.
It's true.
There's nothing wrong with being your own hero. It's a good thing to enjoy the work that you do.
Okay, Aaron, you're painting, buddy.
Painting. Look at that painting.
I am painting.
It's a hot painting right there. I like that.
Solid.
Trying to get in some of these darks and lights. Everyone in the chat, I have to semi-assume is digital. So they're like,
No, I think we got a few like.
No, we got a mix, I think.
Yeah. I think we have enough like art student people that they at least do it some traditional. Or they should.
I'm on the tiny brush. Tiny brush. Hopefully I can make a few of these changes come through. I have a crappy tiny brush.
What'd you do to it? Did you not clean it? Like we had that discussion.
Or have you not
Mm,
gotten your
there's
like
a-
awesome brushes yet?
Yeah, I don't understand what makes a brush awesome. Maybe I've just never owned one. But yeah, after a while, even if you're cleaning them, actually sometimes the act of cleaning them ruins these brushes. The acrylic
Yeah.
brushes or watercolor brushes.
Are you talking about synthetic brushes?
Yeah, I'm talking about synthetics,
Yeah.
and they just almost nothing you can do. They just don't last long. I remember Donato, I think, saying if he's got a detailed painting, he just buys a box and uses the brush until it's done, chucks it, and gets on to the next one. At least I think that was him. But if it wasn't him, sorry for the misquote, and it still makes it valid. It's still a valid method, or whatever you want to call it. If you're stuck, they're usually like $1 or $2 anyway, so you just buy a dozen of them and throw them away when they stop working for you.
Your brush philosophy makes me so sad.
My what? Oh, because I
brush
just
philosophy.
toss them?
Yeah.
Sorry. What? What's the big deal?
Clean your brushes, people. Clean them.
Whatever.
Don't let me catch you not cleaning your brushes. It's like the one thing I'm strict about. Miller happens to hit that button every time.
Well, I put it in the turpentine, I wipe it off, and I'm done.
And then you neglect it.
You know, when I was in school, we had the whole ivory soap thing, too. But again,
Yep,
you know,
yep.
I didn't notice my
That's
brushes...
really all I use.
I didn't notice my brushes lasting any longer.
Mm.
Or, you know what? To be honest, because even if they're not lasting longer, they're still sitting around my paint brush holders. I think that could be the problem, is that they end up they're still in my bucket, and I still use them for stuff. Sorry, I just need to get the
After a
box
while,
out
you
of
end
the
up
way.
with like glue brushes. You know, you don't throw them out immediately.
Yeah,
You just use
they're
them for
great
stuff
for
normally
for
put on ice
other
brushes, varnish and stuff. Yeah.
they're perfect for other purposes. Sometimes you need to scrape paint out in that dried brush.
Yes.
Yeah, so you use it to scrape something out.
Yeah, you don't want to use a nice brush for that.
Yeah, exactly. Or scrubbing or whatever.
All right, I think I'm gonna call it quits here.
Yeah, I think I'm about done.
Whatever. I'm about done too.
I'm trying to get to Cynthia's here. Let me see if I can switch it. Trying to remember which one.
I do want to talk for like 2 seconds about the last thing that I did here, which is something I do pretty much every painting I do.
Let me see if I can. I'm having trouble getting to your stream, Cynthia. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Just make sure. Oh, that's Aaron's. Oh, I've got Aaron's on multiple lines here. That's interesting.
I'm special.
Cynthia, I don't have you anymore.
Cynthia,
You're still
It's weird because I'm still recording. Yeah,
That's
I'm
weird.
totally still recording.
Oh, well.
All
Splice
right,
it
well,
in.
you know what? We're going to post all of this on our site, and the cool thing that we're trying today, and hopefully this works, is we think it's going to work, is we're gonna post all 4 in one download. So we'll have all 4 videos probably separately,
Edited
maybe together, and edited together. It'll be interesting to watch. Hopefully,
Yeah.
hope you guys enjoyed the stream. We didn't do any crits today. I'll talk to the guys. Maybe we'll do an extra crit somewhere.
Yeah.
Or an extra one next week, or I don't know, something. We'll
make
do
it up to you.
Thanks everybody for coming. Thanks everybody for watching. Really appreciate it. Keep practicing. If you have questions, email us. Am I missing anything?
No.
Have fun.
See you next week. Later, guys.
Yeah. All right. See you next week.
Later,
Bye.
peeps.
And stop live streaming.
Save recording.
Season 2.
Aaron, you're still streaming.